So, Ahaan, your turn.
So my 11 is similar but slightly different as well. I've got Rohit and Quinton de Kock opening the batting. I've put Surya Kumar at 3, and then I've got Pollard at 4, Pandya at 5, and Hardik at 5, sorry, and Krunal at 6. Because last year there was this one match where Pollard played at 4 when he captained, and he played really well.
Yes, against Punjab.
Yeah, I feel like you need to give him more responsibility in this team. He's now a very senior player. Give him the time, give him the responsibility. And then for me, okay, I'm gonna leave 7 and 8. My 9, 10, 11 is Rahul Chahar, Bolt, and Bumrah. For me, 7 and 8 is where it's really flexible. Because I would start with Coulter over Pattinson for sure because he gives me the batting option. I like last year against West Indies in the World Cup, he was incredible. He basically saved the game for them, and he's also a very hit the deck kind of bowler, which I feel they're kind of missing in the squad because Bumrah, Bolt is a very he's a new ball bowler who swings the ball. Bumrah is a death who will give you the death overs. He'll bowl the Yorkers. Bumrah can do everything, but I mean apart from Bumrah, Coulter gives you a more hit the deck option, which I guess Pattinson does as well. But Coulter for me is more of a limited overs bowler than Pattinson is. Um, and then that leaves me with one option. So if I play Ishan Kishan for me is a very hit and miss player, and I would use him in this squad as a floater. So I'd have him at 7 to
ये
start.
हर्षा भोगले.
No, I'm telling you, this is my own views. I'd have him at number 7, and I'd have him float up. But honestly, Ishan Kishan is the most likely for me to miss out. So let's say it's a slightly slower pitch, and you want more over the spin. I'd play Anukul Roy because Anukul Roy he's good with the bat as well, and Anukul Roy is giving you a spinning option, or Jayant Yadav. Again, he's gives you a different option because otherwise they've got Krunal who's left arm, they've got Rahul Chahar who's a right arm a leg spinner. So Jayant Yadav will give you the option of a off spinner, which
And
is
he can also bowl with the new ball.
yeah, he bowls with the new ball as well, and he gives you a different option. So I think Ishan Kishan is where I'm. And if you don't play Kishan and you play Anukul Roy or Giant, you can play Coulter at 7 and drop them to 8 because I feel like Coulter is kind of is definitely a better batsman than them, and he can hit the long ball for sure. Not that they need any one of those players. And for me, the one point which I want to talk about is the Bolt versus McClenaghan debate. So I think what Mumbai need is a new ball bowler because ideally, if it was up to me, I'd have Jasprit Bumrah bowling 4 overs after the 10th over because those are the toughest overs, and I'd want to save as many of Jasprit Bumrah's overs for the end. And by playing Bolt because he's much better with the new ball, you can bowl Bolt up front with Jayant Yadav and maybe Coulter gets an over, and you get your 6 overs out of the way. Then you can be a basic that allows you to save Jasprit Bumrah for much later, and it allows you to because Bolt is very good, and Bolt is a brilliant fielder as well. I will always remember that catch he took for Delhi against RCB.
Yeah.
That was outrageous. He's a much better fielder than McClenaghan because McClenaghan also has a lot of injury issues. So I think for me,
That's a good point. I think you made a good point about Bolt being a much better fielder and the fact that they need a new ball bowler. But yeah, it is a toss-up. But
I understand why you go McClenaghan, especially as a Mumbai fan, because he's always seems to deliver for them.
Exactly, and like you said, so about the Bumrah point, I'd say that we would need three overs of Bumrah, 15, 17, and 20, 15, 17, and 19. But I would have one over of him either in the power play or like before over 15, basically when you need a wicket as a wicket taker.
It's a bit like I said in the Delhi podcast about how Delhi are going to use Rabada, because I think Delhi will save Rabada and then therefore have people like Ishan Sharma to bowl in the power play. So I definitely think they will use Bumrah in a very similar manner.
Yeah, and so the thing is, if they use Bolt, then I would think that Bolt would bowl 3 overs in the power play and probably one between 10 to 15. But I think McClenaghan would be used very differently because he's not the best at the death, but he's not the best with the new ball either. But he always manages to like be really useful, and he's a bowler that they bowl primarily between over 6 to 15. And he can hit the deck hard, and he's a wicket taker. Like his strike rate is really good in T20 cricket, even though his
he picks up a lot of wickets.
I feel like they've got enough easy over bowling.
I think they have a lot of honestly I think the one thing I've noticed is all of our 11s is that because they have such good all-around options, that the balance of their team, even with a few injuries or changes, is really good. like because they've just
But I
got
think
that
they're Indian
4,
batsmen.
5,
So
6, 7
So
is.
all three of you believe that Quinton de Kock should be picked over Chrisland.
definitely, Quinton
I
de Kock is one of the best limited overs batsmen in the world.
I think so.
Since he's become captain, just look at his figures for South Africa. He's
Become
brilliant.
captain. I know he's become
He
captain.
doesn't make it to his national team.
But you see what Lin can do, and you know that he's like a fight. He's someone you got to include in your
Just
lineup.
He's washed, bro.
national
He's
team.
washed. He's not good as he was before.
Yeah, I think he's a bit past his prime.
He made
But
36 of 45 last couple weeks ago in the
You
CPL.
every player can have a bad match, man. Doesn't make them.
Yeah, but he's not been making a lot of runs. He really hasn't, and this is recently.
I think we
Since
don't
coming
get enough for his team,
since coming back after COVID, he hasn't been making very many runs. Not at a fast rate either.
yeah, I mean, Chrisland. I don't open with Chrisland. I just think Quinton de Kock is just too much.
Yeah,
Like, if you
KKR dropped him for a reason.
where else would you play
So
him?
then like I think my 11 and Ahan's 11 are almost exactly the same, apart from the fact that he has like Chrisland, he has Quinton de Kock instead, so he has to play Ishan. He can drop Ishan Kishan. So for him, Surya Kumar is at 3, and for me, Ishan Kishan's at 3, and then for him, Ishan Kishan's the floater and Surya Kumar's the floater. So I think that's what it'll come down to in the end. Like that's how like that's what it
I don't
would
know if you
be.
watched that Mumbai show. I didn't really like Ishan Kishan's attitude. He struck me as a kind of a I'm too cool for everyone here.
He's I think you put it perfectly. He is a hit and miss player, but you know, like you need those players. I remember this game against KKR. I think it was 2 seasons ago. He made 62 of 21 or something, and he absolutely took Narayan apart. He took Narayan and Kuldeep Yadav apart. So
I
like you need
understand.
like that in a team, because Mumbai already, it's not like Mumbai have a weak batting lineup. Even like you might say they battle 7, or maybe they don't have a weak batting lineup. So I don't think it's a bad idea to have like a hit or miss player, and especially like if he does 2 things. So
Yeah, no, that's
The
great.
thing
That's
with
great.
Kishan is that his hit is not that great, and his miss is really bad. So like his ceiling isn't that high, and
Surya
his
Kumar
floor
Yadav
is
is just
really
not
low.
consistent, which is why I would include him. But the only reason I would I mean, theoretically, Surya Kumar Yadav could keep wickets as well. He has, I think, in a couple of games.
Basically, Yash, your team.
Surya Kumar Yadav will not keep
Except
in the
you
IPL.
play
That is
games
not
so
an
you fill up your
option.
bag. That's
I
it.
don't think that's gonna happen. I think you need Ishan Kishan in your team because you're not playing de Kock, so you need
That's
a
Yeah,
the
you need,
that's
main.
why.
That's the
you
main.
need a wicket keeper.
Yeah.
Yeah.